Hi everyone, today we're going to be covering tips and tricks for the reading section for the SAT. And this is going to be a short video, so I'll answer all the questions directly from the passage in the next videos and explain more there. So, start off, I compiled a short list of tips that I use throughout it and tips that also help me get a better understanding of how the passage and how the test just works. Okay, so number one, no matter how you see it, there's always one correct answer. This is always important, as you can't be like, okay, well, this might be correct, this is correct. I don't know. If you're stuck between two answers, there's always going to be one correct answer, so look for the trap answers. And look at it from College Board's perspective, okay? So they're sitting there at their offices, wherever they come up with the test. They find passages, and then they have to come up with questions. So if they make the questions too easy, because the questions always have to have an obvious answer, that's how it just rolls. But if they make the questions super easy, or it's just one obvious answer all the time, everyone's going to get 1600, so the test will be proven ineffective. It'll be just a waste of time. So they have to come up with trap answers that'll be either off by 1 to 2 words, involve your literary interpretation, be from the wrong part of the passage, or something along those lines, to kind of trick you to go there and deviate you from the right answer. So just remember, there's always one correct answer, and look to see why the answers are wrong when you're practicing. Okay, number 3, focus on time management. So there's 65 minutes to answer 52 questions. Now that might seem like a lot of time. However, when you're actually going through it in the flow of things, it's really not that long. So what I advise is taking about 10 minutes per passage. That'll leave you with some time to look over stuff at the end. Okay, number 4. If you have the time, try to read books from 18th century literature, so like English literature, British literature, U.S. history, because those are going to be common passages, and just get yourself familiarized with the language, because most of the language used in those aren't what we see today. One of those that I recall, I don't remember exactly which test it was from. I'm thinking maybe practice test 4 from College Board, not too sure. But I just remember one of those, in one of the passages, it was like, something has held high carnival. Okay, and then if you further read it, so using context clues will also help. But see, you're just going to have weird words like those, or weird phrases that you just never know. Okay, and believe that you can do it. So this is going to be a really cheesy or corny one. But if you have it in your mindset that you can't do it, obviously you're going to perform less than what you'd expect. But if you believe that you can do it, there's more of a chance that you're going to get it correct than otherwise. Okay, and make yourself interested in the passage and read each passage passionately. So, this is one of the ones that helped me, especially when I started off. So at first I wasn't interested in any of the passages, like especially the history. I would just lose focus really quickly within it. But as soon as I got myself in that mindset that, okay, I can do it, and I tried to make myself interested in each one. Okay, history's coming up, fine, I'm fine with that, it's good, I like history. Or 17th century literature, 18th century literature is coming up, that's okay, I like that. That's the kind of tricks I use. Number 7. Most questions will be restated in the passage or demonstrated in some way. Okay, so it's going to be either directly stated in the passage somewhere, and then the answer choices are going to be slightly rephrased, so probably knowing your synonyms is going to be a best way to do that. And then demonstrated some way, so it's going to be using somewhat of a literary interpretation, but it's going to be based off of the passage. It's going to have a direct influence on something. Okay, and don't use your outside knowledge, so don't bring in knowledge. So if you know something about a topic, but it's not staying in the passage, they might trap you with one of those answers. So don't bring your outside knowledge, and don't circle the answer choice unless you know for sure it's directly stated or somehow demonstrated some way from the passage. Number 9, don't use your literary interpretation. This is one of the ways College Board loves to trap students. So using literary interpretation, so that just means, okay, well, I think this might happen, or maybe this is going to happen based off of this. Don't do that. That's going to get you the wrong answer. Okay, and remember, each question's weighted the same. So, would you rather spend like 2 minutes trying to answer a best evidence question, or would you rather spend that 2 minutes on answering like 4 or 5 easier questions? If they're all weighted the same, why would you waste that time when it could be used on something else? Just skip it and come back to it if you're taking over 30 seconds to a minute. No, even that's too long. If you're taking over 30 seconds, just skip the question and come back to it. Okay, and great books that help you study for the SAT reading section. So these are what helped me. This is what I use. The SAT Black Book. So that's the first one I looked at. It pretty much covers everything from reading, writing, and math. And it has walkthroughs and explanations from tests 1 through 4. So for the reading, it's about 100 pages, I'd say. And it's a full toolbox of it. So I'd recommend you check out this. I'll include that link in the description. And same thing with the complete guide to SAT reading. I'll also put that in the description. This has more this is more focused on reading since it's for SAT reading, and it has more practice problems specific to what you might see. Okay, and top strategies for reading the passage and answering the questions. So the first strategy is read the passage first and answer the questions next. This is what I feel that most test takers would do. But it's not something that I prefer. But again, all of this depends on the type of person that you are and what you feel comfortable on testing. Strategy number 2, read the blurb first. So the blurb is, or this is what Khan Academy pretty much calls it. So the blurb is the subheading, so it'll give you, like right above the passage, it'll give you sometimes where the source is from or what the author is, but sometimes it also gives you the main idea or the goal that the author is trying to accomplish, and usually when you see those, there's going to be a question asked that's related to those. So that's why I read that section first, and that takes about like 5 to 10 seconds. Skim through the questions next, because you'd be surprised what your subconscious can do. That's what one of the quotes from another Khan Academy. So if you look at the questions first and you see like, okay, there's going to be something from line 16, and then there's going to be best evidence that follows from lines 1 through 40, you're going to actively be looking for stuff while you're reading. Then read the passage and answer the questions as you go through the passage. So if you can save time by reading the passage and answering questions like which word most nearly means this in line 16 or 17, it would help you in the long run. Strategy number 3. Read the passage first, format your answers in your own way, and then answer accordingly. I feel like this can be combined with any other strategy, and this is also a good way. This is what Khan uses. And the strategies that I use a combination of 2 and 3, as this is how I get the answers effectively. But it really depends on the type of person you are and how you read the passages. Okay, and the top strategies for bubbling the answer. So strategy number 1, write down the answer in the test, bubble as you go on the answer sheet. That's probably the most effective one. I feel like that's what most test takers go with, and that's also what I go with. Strategy number 2, finish answering the questions for the passage, bubble when the corresponding answers at the end of each passage. So if you're answering for first passage, it's 1 through 10. As soon as you finish all 10 questions, you'd bubble that in. I would strongly advise you don't do this one too. Yeah, this one is a big X because it wastes way too much time. So if you spend 10 minutes answering the questions and reading the passage, and then you're trying to bubble it in, it'll waste like another 45 seconds just bubbling, when that 45 seconds can be used to skim through the other questions for the next passage, or even start reading. And strategy number 3, finish the entire test and bubble after. This is a really big no-no. This is not a good strategy. Mainly because if you're running low on time and you realize, okay, I haven't bubbled at anything, you're going to be pretty much screwed over if you don't have anything, because how the SAT works, they only grade what's bubbled, not what's in the text. So the strategy that I go with number 1. This is probably the best way to do it. And like I said before, I'll be posting another video where I explain each and every question, how to answer those from one of the practice tests, and using these strategies in real time. So thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, please hit the like button, and if you're new, please consider subscribing. Also, check out my other videos if you find them helpful. Thanks. Have a great day.